Good evening and welcome to Thai PBS English News Service. I'm Supajongklin Swan. The Cabinet today approved the promised adjustment of the minimum monthly salaries for civil servants holding a bachelor's degree to 15,000 baht, and the government is pushing ahead all full urgent flood prevention projects to ensure that completion is 6 months from now. Prime Minister Yingluck today ordered the Science and Technology Ministry to design a flood warning system to be implemented should the floods come again this year. All urgent policies relating to flood prevention must be implemented and completed before the rainy season comes, while Deputy Prime Minister Yongnyut Wichaidit will work closely with the Bangkok governor to ensure that all canals are ready to drain water effectively. Another important matter today was the plan to seek around 2 million rai of land, or about 320,000 hectares of land, to become natural water basins. The Water Resources Management Committee, or what Thais would refer to as GYAO, is responsible for that task. Meanwhile, as promised in their election campaign, the government also approved an increase in bachelor's degrees graduate salaries to a minimum 15,000 baht per month. That is a 64% increase from the current 9,140 baht benchmark. And while the government is forking out billions of baht for flood prevention schemes, a network of people are volunteering to become watchdogs, making sure that all projects are above board. The Anti-Corruption Network, which is a network of volunteers, is organizing the Ma Phao Ban, or the Watchdog campaign, to ensure that the government's 17 billion baht budget for the first phase of flood prevention is used transparently, and there have not been any clear details of the expenditure issued so far. The network is planning to recruit 1,000 more people before March to work as anti-corruption watchdogs alongside with the National Anti-Corruption Commission. Meanwhile, Pramon Suthiwong, the leader of this campaign, says his group will ask the Prime Minister to reveal the working details of the flood prevention projects and the precise mechanisms for checking expenses. They also support the Anti-Corruption Commission's suggestion that the government's purchase of goods and services will be revealed to the public. Meanwhile, another 42 private companies are organizing a campaign to raise public awareness of natural disasters. Big names like PTT, K-Bank, and Honda will invite climate experts from around the world to a workshop with Thai experts to promote the transfer of knowledge to the public and provide constructive suggestions to the government. Water experts have warned about the possibility of flooding in Thailand this year. It is related how much water the government will release from the reservoirs. Here's Kun Dawdin Klong Akara with the climate.
Welcome to the climate. This week we have a lot of worry about the amount of water in the dam, because now we have a lot of water in the dams, as same as in the rainy season. So yes. Dr. Seri, yes. Why that all of the dam in Thailand we have a lot of water? Why we cannot drain all of this water out to prepare for the rainy season?
Yeah, as you know, last year we have a lot of water, right? Still the water is in the fields, the rice field. Yeah. So if the dam release the water, it will make more water in the field. So it is very difficult for the farmers. That the amount of released water should be controlled from now. So we let's some example for the Pumipon Dam. Okay?
Yes.
This one is we call is a Loo curve operation. That means you have two curve. This is upper Loo curve, yes. The blue one. This is the lower Loo curve, blue one here. So this curve come from the average curve of the data 30-40 years before. And this year the irrigation department plan to release the water in the reservoir like this one. Okay, like this one in bow between upper and lower.
In the curve.
Yeah, that means you see from now to April they have to release the water nearly about 7,000 million cubic meter.
For Pumipon Dam?
Yeah, for Pumipon Dam.
Yes.
At this time, so the farmer should use the water from this. But still have the water in the field. If the Pumipon Dam cannot release like this one, they worry about when they come to the rainy season, especially during this time, September, October here, we worry about the storm. Storm will bring a lot of rain, like last year. You see, the green one is last year. The storm come and then bring a lot of rain. The reservoir full. After the reservoir full, they cannot release, and then if they release immediately, they cause a lot of problems.
So we had the big flood last year.
Yes, that's right. So I think this year that they plan to shift the rice plantation season from normally they start to plant the rice from this one July, and then they ship to May. Start ship 2 months earlier. After the harvest in August or September, they can release the amount of excess water downstream. Circuit dam, I think it's the same situation. The storm coming around this. And
August or September
cause the reservoir full immediately, and then at this time last year they want to release but cannot release because the farmer cannot harvest that, so they let full here and immediately release after harvest, so it causes a lot of problem.
But you think we can control it?
Yeah, we have to adjust monthly. Yes, because we don't know how many storms will come. We don't know how many rains will fall. So that's why this yellow curve will be adjusted according to the real situation. That means week by week, month by month, we have to monitor it and then adjust it.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Seri. So next week we will come back and we'll update you more about the flood situation that may happen to Thailand, because now we have the rain already.
Thank you, Kundarin. Japan's number 3 automaker Honda announced a 65% drop in its first quarter profits due to natural disasters in Thailand and in homeland Japan. Honda Motor today forecasts a worse than expected 65% drop in profit this year to March 31. The automaker says it expects operating profit to reach 200 billion yen, or some 80.89 billion baht, far short the 270 billion yen it projected in August. The strong yen has also added another blow. Honda is the slowest to recover from the supply chain disruptions after the earthquake and tsunami in March last year, while its Southeast Asian hub in Thailand was also inundated during the floods. Honda lost an estimated 260,000 vehicles to the Thai floods last year. Honda's global output last year dropped by a fifth to 2.91 million cars, slipping below 3 million for the first time in 8 years. And following an outcry that soldiers in the Deep South shot dead 4 innocent people Sunday, the Army is insisting that at least one insurgent was on the pickup truck when fired upon, but the Army commander says that heads will roll if soldiers are found using excessive authority. Lieutenant General Udomchai Thamasarorat, commander of the Region 4 Army Command, insists the Rangers who are accused of killing 4 innocent people on a pickup truck in Pattani province were fired at first. Soldiers suggest some of the suspected insurgents who had earlier fired grenades at an operational ranger base were on the pickup truck. Then they opened fire at the Rangers. 4 people were killed and 5 wounded in the clash. However, the survivors of the incident who met with Lieutenant General Udomchai today insist that all 9 on board were innocent and no one on the pickup truck fired at officials first. Deputy Prime Minister General Yuthassak Sasiprapha confirms none of the 4 deaths were related to insurgent groups in the south, but did not conclude who should take responsibility. Meanwhile, Army Commander Prayut Chan-o-cha says a free and fair investigation will be conducted. If soldiers are found to have used unnecessary or excessive force, heads will roll. A fact-finding committee is conducting an investigation as we speak. The Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister is preparing to discuss with the Governor of the Bank of Thailand, or the BOT, the collection of levies from commercial banks within the next 2 weeks. He said that the levies will not be much different from the 0.4% of deposits from commercial banks. Following the issuing of an emergency decree to transfer the 1.14 trillion baht of FIDF debt to the Bank of Thailand, the Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister Kitirat Naranong is preparing to talk with the Bank of Thailand regarding the collection of levies. He said that the levies will not be much different from the 0.4% of the deposits collected from commercial banks. He has insisted that this will not have an effect on the customers. Meanwhile, the BOT's governor has come up with two possible ways of servicing the debt, but says that the BOT will not collect levies for more than 0.6% of deposits from the commercial banks. The Bank of Thailand is considering taking income from three different sources, namely other assets of the FIDF, interest of annual reserve money of the BOT, and levies on deposits from the commercial banks to give the Deposit Protection Agency, or the DPA. The emergency decree on FIDF debt has been a controversial issue, especially with regard on the timing. Dr. Rungtip Chodnapalai talked to the Dean of the Faculty of Economics at Chulalongkorn University. Here's more.
That's the way they try to do, but this way could be a problem, because this debt is a long-term debt. So what they have to do is that to make sure that they don't move it out just for emergency causes, because it's not emergency causes. Basically, because you don't believe that this debt should belong to the government and should belong to the Bank of Thailand, and this is a long-term causation. It's not a short-term causation. Nothing to do with the flooding. Okay, so I think the reason for the enactment probably not really right, and that could be a problem in the Constitution Court. But I don't know yet whether that would be the problem or not. But I would say that that could be something risky for the government, that could be interpreted as something not really emergency or something not really temporary to do it.
But you're concerned over the Thai economy, the risk. What are the risks, the factors?
The risk is that it makes the balance sheet of the bank of the government not really transparent. So people would have a lot of doubt about this problem. The problem would arise later when the Thai government or the Thai public sector face a debt crisis in the future. So one is getting near the debt crisis, then people would talk a lot about whether we can trust the balance sheet of the government, and that could destroy the future of the Thai government.
Following rumors that some LPG and NGV retailers are planning to hike the price of gas tomorrow, the Internal Trade Department says that such price rises are illegal and violators may face imprisonment and a fine. The Department of Internal Trade says that retailers intending to hike the price of LPG and CNG, otherwise known as NGV gas, may face up to 7 years imprisonment and a 140,000 baht fine. The officially set price for retail LPG today is no more than 11 baht 55 stang per liter, while retail NGV is at 9 baht a kilogram. The next official rise will be in February 16, 1 month from the last time retail prices went up. LPG will then go up another 41 stang to around 12 baht, while CNG or NGV gas price rises will have to wait for the Energy Ministry's final approval. Consumers may report retailers who exceed the government's set price or hoard gas before mid-February at 1569. The State Enterprise Workers Relation Confederation insists that it will continue with its national roadshow to tell the public about the privatization of Thai Airways and PTT, of course, only from their side of the story. Sathit Kaewwan, Secretary General of the State Enterprise Workers Relation Confederation, or the SERC, says SERC is against the government's idea of reducing the state's shareholding in PTT and Thai Airways. The government claims that holding less than 50% of shares of PTT and Thai Airways will benefit the country and reduce public debt. SERC says privatization will have a negative impact. In the middle of next month, SERC will organize a public forum and offer all parties a chance to listen and to share their ideas on the privatization proposal. Some hinted to reporters that a mass movement may develop if government insists on pursuing to the privatization plan. And that brings us to the end of tonight's edition of Thai PBS English News Service. We are still recruiting for a English-speaking news reporter, so if you are interested, please do email us at engnews@thaipbs.or.th. And we'll see you again tomorrow night, same time, same place. I'm Suwajong Pin Sawan. สวัสดีครับ